Hey y'all, I'm Dylan, aka Dilly.
Hey y'all, I'm Jonah, aka one of the boys.
So me and him, we had been talking and we wanted to say thanks because we've asked for feedback, we've asked for people's opinion, and we've asked for you know kind of insights and stuff like that. And we've gotten some feedback and we've gotten some things and with me being about as transparent as I can be, I'm sure he probably agrees.
Yeah,
We have a
100.
lot of things going on in the back, like in the backside of like whenever we decided to start this podcast, that we were with the understanding of how we're wanting to go about certain things, what the kind of maybe business opportunities that we're trying to dabble in, um, things that we can do to express our passions, our hobbies, things
Absolutely.
things that can kind of take us out of our everyday normal job and hopefully create opportunities for people, hopefully create brand new opportunities for us.
Stuff that we truly enjoy doing on the backside of everything that we do now. I mean, yeah, we work all the time, but we're trying to get out of that.
Well, and I mean it's we're still going to be working all the time. It's just
Oh yeah,
different.
just a whole different ball game than what we're
It's
used to.
it's different when you are building something and it's different when you're uh almost immersed in what you're doing,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like I feel like this episode we're gonna be almost as transparent, almost kind of behind the curtains type of deal, right? Where it's we're gonna give y'all some insights and like things we're working on, things that might be upcoming. Um, and when I say upcoming, I'm not saying within the next few weeks.
I don't know. It's gonna take
Um,
months. It's gonna take a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication to doing what we're planning on doing, and it's definitely gonna take a lot of time. But we're gonna try to get there as soon as we can.
but one thing I think me and him both want to drive home because we have discussed this probably every single day since we've started this thing. We're in this for the long haul. Like we understand that this isn't something that just happens overnight. Any business that you're trying to do, and I use the term business not just in the sense of what we're trying to do to YouTube. We'll kind of get into some of the other things a little later on. But yeah, just kind of wanted to give y'all a rundown because I feel like sometimes we try to be goofy, we try to talk about certain topics, and so far we've been pretty eclectic about what we're talking about. Um, but I think as of late, we've started kind of this has opened a creative door for both of us to where it's almost kind of like every single day that we talk about it, it's like, ooh, what if we could do this? Ooh, what about this? Ooh, man, what do you think about this? And
So
it's and we've lost some friends, we've gained some friends. I mean, it's but the one thing that I know I can sit there and say is like it has been such an empowering thing to go through this with somebody that has a very like-minded approach, somebody that's as excited to do this thing, and because we're both so busy, dude, we film weeks in advance sometimes because of our work schedules, and we understand.
especially mine.
Yeah,
I'm gone 2 weeks at a time. I'm only home for a week, so we have that 1 week just to get whatever we can done in a matter of time. Especially your days off. You
well, and
know,
then when you're like, unlike your job, where okay, you're gone for 2 weeks and back a week.
yeah,
I don't, you know what I mean? I'm still at work. So we're trying to make this happen on our schedule to where we're not overwhelmed. We can still be energetic, be honestly clear minded,
yeah.
like be able to move through our thoughts and not get super jumbled up. And so far so good. I think we're still in the building process of what our schedule is going to be. But we won't. I don't think that we should get too far into that. Just understand, like, we're doing this for a reason, and aside from just the enjoyment that we get from us just being able to I don't know. There's this thing that you get when people can talk about stuff that they're passionate about.
Yeah. And like you said, we're not here, just for us. We're also here to, entertain y'all. Give y'all something that y'all can sit down and watch and know you're going to have a good time watching, or, something that, you're having a bad day, you can sit down and watch, and that we're going to have good times, and, it might just make, all we're trying to do is make your day a little bit better than what it was before.
Well, and let me add to that, because it's one of those things where, and I think about this heavy, right?
Okay.
And it's so okay. So like, I'll give myself as an example, because I don't know exactly who you listen to, but like I'll sit there and listen to Bad Friends. I'll sit there and listen to Joe Rogan. I'll sit there and listen to. There's a lot of different podcasts, but there's a common theme is a lot of them are coming from success, right? Which, granted, they didn't start their career off successful. They worked extremely hard. But as they're starting this podcast journey, they have access to people that we don't. They have access to funds that we may not. They have access to creators and all these different things that we don't. And just to like piggyback off of kind of what you said, but I want to motivate people, because we're workforce. We're blue collar. We're people who we're funding this with our own money. We don't come from, we don't come from money. We don't come from, we don't have this endless bank account and credit cards.
But at the end of the day, to me, I feel it's going to be more rewarding, because we built something from completely ground zero, something that, we're just like, hey, it was kind of more or less of your idea of, you actually want to start this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't get me wrong, I have always enjoyed listening to podcasts. I've always enjoyed watching them. And to be a part of one, it's been a lot of fun. And this would actually also help me get out of my everyday life of, working 15 hours a day, trying to bust my ass or something but doing this, I feel like I'd have, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more rewarding, just because, again, building from ground zero, it's awesome.
Well, and one of the exciting parts is like anybody who watches us, and I hope that everybody sticks around and they proceed to watch how we move. I hope that they look at the stuff that we're doing and they say, oh man, these guys went from a very specific type of job.
Yeah.
And went out of their comfort zone, started a podcast knowing zero about any. I've never created anything online, and I jumped straight in to editing and recording, learning about the different versions, like how to run. The list is long. Creating logos, how to do advertising, how to create pages for social media. Things that I'm not super comfortable with, but you know what? I get to go back to my friends that might be going through that same thing. Like here's an example. I wanted my sister to do an episode because she is a very spiritual, very enlightened person, and I love that woman to death. She is such a strong, independent woman, and she's so scared to get on camera. And I tell her, I'm like, we'll work with it. Like we'll get you comfortable, because I think the world needs to. And it, obviously, right now, maybe the world isn't watching. Maybe a very small
handful of people, but I mean, even then, I have never been good in front of, talking in front of people, especially a large crowd. And again, even before this, I was super nervous coming in front of a camera, in front of a mic, because I've never done it. It's something I've never thought about ever do.
Dude, but still, dude, we probably record about 5 to 10 minutes before the video even starts, because we still are going through it, but we're fighting through all of that uncomfortable feeling for the better of what we're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And with all of that being said, like I told you, I want to remain grateful and I want to stay humble. Like I want to keep everything
the way it is. Keep it going.
I'm a firm believer in. I want to tell everybody that has been there with me and is gonna continue to move with me. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Absolutely. 100%.
How much I appreciate them, because legitimately we couldn't do this
without them.
Without you, without any support. Because, like, I don't know about you. I have very, 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 I can't say very enough, crazy imposter syndrome. I don't think anybody should ever listen to the things that I have to say, because the way that my mind works, I don't think people should listen to the way that I just don't. But then sometimes whenever I'm feeling a certain type of way, Jonah will text me and he'll explain something to me, and that he's excited and that what we're building is something cool. Like he almost convinces me again because he's so excited about it. Hey, and I don't tell him, right? Like I don't tell him that I'm feeling that imposter stuff, but it's a constant reminder that it's like I wake up and I got so many things that we have to accomplish, and we're at work and it's like, wait, why are we doing this? Like we're stressed out, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
But then you know what? We get in here and then people are giving us feedback. People are giving us all of this information. It's almost like
even giving us ideas, and we look back at it and it's just, we're like, dude, like let's try it, or let's see how it goes. And it's stuff like that kind of keeps us going as well.
Well, and we were talking about before we even started recording was there's been a handful of people who've given us feedback, given us opinions. They've given us thoughts. Hey, this is what I think could make this podcast better. Hey, these are some things that I've gotten, right? Like, dude, there was literally an episode that our fire alarm kept beeping in the background. Nobody told me except for one guy. And he's like, fix your freaking alarm. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. I didn't even notice it. As we're recording, dude, and we watched that video probably twice.
Probably more than twice, to be
and
honest.
Nobody told us.
I didn't even notice
nobody picked it up. And that day I came home and I'm like, get it out. Like, we're not.
So you're not even helping us around the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Maybe y'all motivate me to clean or fix some things. But like, we're working on stuff. A lot of y'all's feedback right now, we are straight up just trying to find a way to incorporate all of this, because there's been a lot of thoughts and a lot of information that y'all have given us. And shout out to y'all, because y'all are creating, y'all are giving us an opportunity to think bigger and better.
Do better.
And there's a lot of it that like I said, we wanted to be incredibly transparent. So a part of this podcast, or at least a part of this episode, I think we're going to go over some of the ideas and some of the thoughts and some of the things that we're kind of working on. We're trying to figure out how to incorporate it, how to do it better. Things that is pretty set in stone on what we're going to do. It's just a matter of figuring out when and how, and yeah, because we, it's like we're at a buffet and we're just, we keep stacking stuff on our plate almost to where it's like flowing over. But there's certain segments on the podcast that people have brought up, and I'm like, that would be awesome. But that's so hard when, so far, every single one of our episodes has been something different, has been a different kind of topic, has been a different level of energy, has been, sometimes we're drinking, sometimes, I guess in the case of the Halloween thing, I'm smoking. Like, we've experienced different levels of creativity in different episodes, which is awesome, I think. But we're working on stuff like, example, I got good feedback from the episode I did with the boy Jeff, right? We want to do a sports thing. The problem is that's so much time to go over, and then we have to be up to date
with everything,
with all of the sports. Talk about what happened during the week, injuries, trade requests, like people going where. Did Robert Kraft get rubbed and tugged the wrong way? Did Tom Brady cheat? He did. You know, like, Dez Bryant caught the fucking ball against, I think, the Packers in the playoffs, and we should have went to the Super Bowl. But
y'all didn't.
That's neither here nor there. These are all things that, like, we're working on because we enjoy sports. There's a lot of things that we enjoy. We've talked about doing live broadcasts for certain events.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
All of this stuff is things that we talk about, and it's a matter of finding out how can we do it? How can we make this thing happen? Because we're so... It's almost like this thing has exercised such a creative part of my mind where now it's like boom, 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 boom. And it's like,
oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, you're out in the country and you see some fireflies. And you're like, ooh, I want the brightest one. But they're all lit up, right?
They're all bright as shit.
And it's like, which ones do I catch? So that's kind of where we're at. We're working on it. And, you know, I guess... we have a couple things that's coming up that, yeah, it's kind of hard to like put into words because right now, I think whenever I started this, and I remember, I'm going to say this now just because I'm eating some crow. I said I would not do this. I did not want to do merchandise. I did not want to do shirts. I did not want to do hats. I did not want to worry about shipping anything, getting custom-made shirts, ordering. I didn't want to worry about none of that because as of right now, it is 2 people running this whole entire thing.
Yeah, that's going to be... that one's going to be pretty wild to get through, but... I mean,
but we have some shirts coming on the way. The gentleman, we're working with small businesses. So I have a guy that we have worked out a deal that if we remain consistent partners in the merchandise area, he'll give us a good deal with hats, shirts, so on and so forth. When I say good deal, it's not like I'm going to be making a fortune. It's just more of like, hey, let's be able to make some money so we can roll it over into
the podcast.
Everything else that y'all know how business works. But anyways, one of my major goals was I wanted to help small businesses. I wanted to help local businesses.
Hey, you got to support them, man, because without those small and the local businesses, man, I don't think half the things around this world would be possible.
Well, when you think about it, and I guess this is probably a pretty, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but why should I give my money to the Walmarts of the world when a mom and pop grocery store is just trying to make some of the money back from, know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that.
I 100% agree. It's way easier to find a Walmart that has the things I need, or in our case in Texas, HEB, right? That has the things that we need versus going to a maybe smaller, maybe a more family oriented,
Yeah.
But anyways, before I get too far off topic with that, we wanted to help out small businesses. So we wanted to partner with small businesses. However, with working with smaller businesses, there's going to be some some nooks and crannies that we're trying to figure out. We're trying to logistically figure out. So, and we're trying to get some numbers. We have some designs and things like that. So, we will probably, at least on the social media pages, probably be putting out maybe some dates once we get some physical copies.
Yeah.
We're working on some shirts right now. We're working on getting some hats, some patches, some pricing on like custom embroidery, some other things like that. And I think once we can get those, maybe we'll do a show, lay them out on the table, be able to get some close-up views, just see what we're going with, and go from there. But that's something that's coming up.
And in my opinion, I think I actually really like the designs that he's come up with. They're really slick looking shirts. In my opinion,
I'm a super simple person. You don't got to do much.
But,
You don't got to do good. For me. I told myself I wanted a shirt that would work, like you could work in, you could go out in, would be comfortable, run to the grocery store, a t-shirt that I can wear with basketball shorts, jogging shorts, windbreakers, jeans shorts, right? Like if you want,
them jorts, they're underrated.
I was rocking them. I was rocking them.
They are underrated.
But so I wanted to keep it simple. Also with the hats that will be coming out, I really wanted to put emphasis on one customization, because I think that there's something to be said about somebody that has anytime you can get something custom made, I think it makes it a little bit better. And with the partnership with the local businesses, that allows us to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That allows us to go to the gentleman and say, hey, we want your first initial and last name embroidered on the side of the cap. Ooh, if it's one of our fishing shirts, we want the name or the business or whatever extra we could possibly do. We want to work that in so we can possibly offer a detailed and customizable feature on the stuff that we have that a lot of people can't offer because they're just trying to make money. We're not doing this to make money.
No, we're again, like, we're doing this for, we're just having fun, having a good time. We're here to entertain y'all, make y'all day a little better. But, again, on that customization, they get customized to their, what they would like.
Well, there's, okay. This was one of the things that had me thinking about the caps, right?
Okay.
Was how many times have you been out to the bar, been out to the store, been out wherever, and you see somebody with the same dang hat? And it's
quite often.
And honestly, I don't know why it affects us the way that it does. But you're like, what in the... Really?
Yeah.
Really? This one night, this one other guy, and there could be 500 people in the joint. And you're like, this one guy ruins the whole night. But there's a certain... When you can customize it to a specific, whether it be a Texas patch, a U.S. flag patch, your initials, maybe you have a quote or phrase you go by. Nobody will have that same hat. Will have whatever you decide to do. They will not have that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if somebody has, because we hope that there's going to be more than one person buying a hat and going to the same places, right?
Right.
But there will be nobody that will have that same exact hat.
True.
Which is what we wanted, is how we wanted to do it. Once again, this isn't a money grab. We wanted something that people could wear, people could enjoy, people could buy. It's not going to gouge them out. A shirt that maybe you go out and work on your car in or truck. You go out to eat. Like, we want it to be... We want it to be such a universal piece of clothing while being comfortable and all of this other stuff. And there's still so much extra stuff we're going on. And just the bare minimum of it, not to be too pitchy, right? And
Right.
salesman-y.
Right.
How freaking cool is it to have something we worked hard for, our initials, the name of what we're trying to do, the name of what we're trying to start, the logos that we have built and are working on getting out there on a piece of clothing, and that there is a slight chance you're going to get to go out to a bar and be like, I did that.
That's a wild thought, man, because again, from when I started, working in all this, I never thought any of this would ever happen. And again, for one of us to see that out in public, that's honestly be a really great feeling, just to be able to say, hey, we worked hard, we bust our ass, we made that happen.
Like,
and it's crazy to even think about that. That's a possibility.
And to me, that beats me making a profit on any of it. Obviously, we don't want to lose money, but to me, that beats, because all of this coexists, right?
Right.
The shirts, the hats, the podcast. We'll get into the next thing in a few minutes. All of this stuff kind of exists in this vacuum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where all of it just rotates. You buy the shirts, that helps the podcast out. You listen to the podcast, that allows us to do more with the shirts. You get on our social media, that allows more views, and we're going to have the merchandise up on the, Facebook, Instagram.
And maybe even like, later on down the line, there's just a thought, we add a little bit more to the merch line, like.
That's the goal.
Okay.
So because it is such a small, and I'm still learning, right? So
we both are.
So with the designs, and eventually, I would like to show you some of it so you can kind of get into some of the designs, and then what we're about to go over next, that gives us more opportunity for different designs.
Okay.
Right? Because I think one of the things that we want to do is we want to land our creative mind on something that we would wear, that we would enjoy, that we would whatever. Like, we don't want to just make a shirt just to make a shirt, dude.
No.
Any shirt, right?
You can go buy any shirt.
There's so many designs out there, but for me, it's would I wear that?
Yes.
And if I would, maybe somebody else would. That's exactly where my mind is going. But it is exciting because it's obviously it's not something that we're rock stars.
By any means.
Dude, we got, as of today that we're recording this, I have 35 subscribers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are not rock stars by no means. But every single day we're hustling. Every day we're striving to do better. Every day we're trying to work and grow this thing. Every day we're trying to get better, put out a better product while increasing our portfolio, right?
Right.
Quotations, because you got to diversify. We're trying to create multiple opportunities and things that just is just cool, man. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Because it's guys like us. Dude, we're the backbones of America in the sense of we do the grunt work. We do the jobs that the non-thankful, like, nobody thanks us for some of the jobs that we have to do. And that it's just like, oh, well, we just assume that groceries end up on the shelves. We just assume gas ends up in our cars. We just assume plastics you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have done some very, very, very crazy jobs that people don't even know exist.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, to now kind of be doing this thing to be trying to get our stuff out there, get our names out there, get our products out there, having people like watch it. Dude, like I had a buddy of mine who lives in California, shout out, post on his story that he's watching our podcast. And it's like, bro, he's in Cali. Like,
Yeah, it's wild to even think about it. It would even reach that far out.
And I'm incredibly thankful for that. You know what I mean? Because people like that is legitimately finding out that people are actually like watching it. It's like, oh, dude, maybe this is worth all of the extra time we're putting in and us wringing ourselves and almost to exhaustion on trying to find a way to be more creative and push each other out of those bubbles.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably the best segment, right, into some of the other things that we have going on. We mentioned the merchandise, which is coming. We don't have a date yet. If y'all have any questions for it, then go ahead and reach out to us. Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. I gotta double check and see if I have any of the messages turned on, just because I'm an old man, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I barely even know how to post stuff. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, reach out to me. Even on my private stuff, y'all know me. Y'all know, y'all know Jonah. We tag each other in everything that's involved in this. Reach out to us. Once we have a little more details on the actual merchandise, like how it's gonna look, the types of shirts we're gonna use, the placement of the designs, the hats. We'll get a couple different variations of the hats, and we'll probably do like a half episode just going over them, showing off the designs, showing off the hats, and just going over that. And at that point, we'll have a release date.
Yeah.
So
and again,
on and so forth.
If you ask a question, if I don't have an answer, I will definitely do my best to find you that answer. I'm not going to give you nothing, I'm not going to give you a BS. So it may take a minute, but I'll find it out for y'all.
But one of the things that me and him have been working extremely hard on, to me is like the word duty. It's like
you said duty.
Duty. Yeah. I guess you gotta be a child every now and again. But one of the things that me and him have been working fairly hard on. Oh, okay.
You got this.
All right.
Push through.
We've been putting forth a lot of effort.
There you go. We're on the right track now.
Heck yeah. English language, baby. We've been putting forth a lot of effort on is we are going to be bringing a automotive aspect to this channel. We don't exactly have a time frame yet, because I think anybody who's involved with cars knows that it's, as of right now, man, you're waiting on parts, you're waiting on stuff to be built, you're waiting on stuff to be shipped, you're waiting on stuff to be sent, and the vehicles we're going to be working on, at least at first, are vehicles that we will probably run into some issues getting some stuff in a timely manner.
It's gonna be a shit show. It may not be a full shit show, but it's
but it's something that we're gonna try to alleviate as much as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Me and him both have agreed that if we had our way with a hobby, we had our way with something that could possibly, that we could do and possibly like enjoy, like be able to do it and enjoy kind of what we're doing as we're doing it.
Yeah.
Plus benefiting our lives, right? I come from an automotive background where I built cars, got into building heavy machinery. I have a long background of wrenching, right?
Right.
Well, little fun fact, he has a background of welding and fabrication.
Yes, sir.
So me and him both kind of decided, well shoot, dude.
Let's get it rolling.
Anybody who knows me personally knows that I have a 2001 BMW M5 just sitting in my garage. Hasn't been started in about 3 years. Old girl has she's taken
A beating.
she's taken some lumps. And I love that car. I will probably never get rid of that car. I've tried a couple times because I just didn't have the time to mess with it. And I've even told him that even once we fix it, I don't think I'll ever get rid of that car because of what that car is to me. But yeah, we are working on a part of an automotive channel that is going to be some customizing, some building, some fixing. Maybe it's a simple repair.
Modifications.
Maybe it's something as far as we're wrapping the vehicle. Maybe I got to do timing chain guides. That's a very in-depth repair job. Maybe I got to do subframe bushings. Maybe I got to do. There's a lot of different stuff to where everything as simple as changing out the wheels and tires. Could go
all the way to
into something that is fairly difficult, and we need specialized tools. So that is an aspect that we wanted to incorporate into this channel, because
Absolutely.
we both love cars. And I mean, it's not just cars. I mean, we love trucks,
bikes.
I mean, I think both of us want the redneck dream of a souped up jet ski or a crazy UTV on 40s.
I'm all for it. I'm all fucking for it.
Our goal is not just an automotive aspect of it. So I guess I branded it a little bit wrong, right? Is we want a channel where we're building stuff. We want a channel where we get to build stuff, have fun with it, maybe get to experience it. Maybe we haven't fully worked out what the conclusion is after we build it. The further we go.
Well, I know that, like you said on yours, you know, you're not getting rid of that BMW, but I think after a while, once we get done with, you know, my car, and I ain't got nothing special. I just got, you know, a basic 2016 Honda Civic. You know, I mean, ain't nothing special about it, but
Cue the Tokyo Drift song.
But I mean, you know, I feel like after it's done, I think I might part ways with that one and hopefully start another project.
Well, but you know what? We might build it, and you might be like, dang, man, I didn't know that this thing could look, drive, sound like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could be one of those things where you don't think that there's a sentimental value, and you're like, oh, it's kind of like a house, and then you remodel it, right? It's like, oh, everybody wants to sell the house whenever it's just crappy flooring and needs paint, and
yeah.
But then you remodel it, you get that nice new kitchen, nice new flooring, brand new paint, and you're like,
we're moving in tomorrow.
maybe I don't want to sell this house.
I don't know, man. You know, I have so many cars on my list that I would love to build and I would love to own, but I know that half of them, I'm gonna have to part ways because I won't be able to keep all of them.
Well, and that's I think that was another thing that me and you had discussed was
there's gonna be a few vehicles that we do that we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna go and keep this one. Like this one we've searched for years. Like I can tell you one of mine right now that I will never get rid of is another 1980 Dodge. That is one truck that I had owned and I sold, and I regret every single day selling that truck because I spent 3 years trying to find one that was at least in decent drivable condition, and I sold it because I didn't have the time nor the money to fix it.
Well,
and I know one of those is going to be one that I'm going to put off the side, but I know there's going to be quite a few that I'm going to say, hey, let's go and sell it, turn around, and I'm gonna go ahead and.
Well, and I mean, I think the goal, and this is a goal that we have, is to build enough cars to get enough reputation to get enough going, to where it's like, well, we have to get rid of some cars because we just don't have the time, and we don't have
the
space, and we don't have anything else. Like we can't just keep all of these cars around. Like eventually, you do have to get rid of some of them.
No,
But
yeah,
that doesn't
that's-
doesn't mean that we can experience them while we're building them. We can, we almost, I don't even know the words to put it, because we want to experience the cars, and we want to build cars in a very functionable way that rides good, sound like, we want to do it the way that I think there's a lot of shops that cut corners. I'm not gonna name names.
I want to do this the right way. Like you said, a car that functions right, rides well, and it's just an all around functional car. Nothing over the top, Nothing like where we have to take out the AC or take out the radio or anything like that.
Because why?
It's pointless.
Why?
Now, unless you're trying to make like a drag car, then yes, by all means go for it.
I don't want to do all that.
No, I don't plan on doing that either. I don't want to have to.
Now, I'm not against building cars that you can take to the drag strip. Like, I'm not opposed to building a car that you feel so confident in that maybe you could run 10s, 11s, 12s, whatever your goal is, right?
Right.
But you're still going to do it with radio and, you know what I mean? That's so crazy to me when people take out power steering, they take out AC, they take out all of these things to save you 2 to 5 horsepower. And then it's like, okay, how much did that change?
Not a lot.
Nothing. You made your life so much more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For zero, very, very, very incremental time increase.
Now, like I said, I just want to build a car that I can be comfortable in, be able to drive down the road, and it looks nice, slick. It sounds good. The interior's incredible. That's all. That's what I want to do.
Well, and as we're speaking about all of this, these are goals, these are ambitions, these are things that we're trying to do, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Because he's sitting there talking, because once again, transparency. He's sitting there looking for trucks, and today he showed me, I don't even remember what year, but it was a Ram pickup truck, needed some work, $2,000. And I sat there and looked at him, and I was like, why don't you wait until we build this thing up a little bit more and work on the things that we're working on? Let time do its thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's get to a point, and then you don't have to suffice for a $2,000 Ram 1500. You can go spend $10,000 on that 1980 pickup truck that we can now start building, because that's the truck you want.
Yeah.
Right? And me and you have discussed, because like, I have a very expensive taste in cars. I have a freaking M5 sitting in my garage.
There's a few cars that I want that are
I have a pickup truck that every single time I decide to open up my bank account for, it just eats. But like, we've discussed plenty of cars that we want to build, and I think that this is the best opportunity for us to do it, and that's something that we're going to be working heavily on, and we have future goals in regards to that. May or may not include a shop. As of right now, we're just kind of workshopping different things. We're such a small thing, but we got a garage, we got tools, we got basically everything we need to do to roll around in some dirt, get it done.
Yes, sir.
But it is one of those things that, like, we sit there and talk about it, and I'm like, well, why couldn't we buy a GTR?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we buy a Mercedes AMG GT? Why couldn't we buy a old F-250 pickup truck and make a completely custom truck? Why couldn't we buy a 1980, throw a 12 valve in it, P-pump that mug, and make that thing slick?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why can't we take an old bobber, throw some 355s on the rear of it, stretch it a little bit, make some custom brackets for a license plate, throw some LEDs on it, make it almost a one-off bobber bike? Why do we have to go only one direction? We don't.
Oh no.
We can build
We have
all of it.
Yeah, we have so many ideas for just about anything and everything that it could go any direction at any point in time.
So,
and that's what's cool about this one.
And the reason, and I think the reason that why we want to be so open and transparent about some of the stuff we have going on in the background is because, like, legit, anybody who's listening to us right now will be coming with us along this journey, as quite honestly, we're changing our lives. Like, we're trying to create opportunities that takes us out of our current positions. We re-signed a lease saying, who knows where we're going to be in the next year.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and stay where we're at, because we know what to expect. We know everything's going, but we don't know where we're going to be next December.
That's crazy, man.
And we're going to keep doing our best to manifest it, backing it up with the extreme hard work, backing that up with almost a narcissistic way of going about success.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I almost feel like if you're going to be a successful person, there has to be a form of narcissism. There has to be a form of being I don't even know what the not a psychopath, a sociopath.
I agree with you.
Like, you almost have to have that thing.
That kind of mindset.
That you're just always hungry, even when you're tired. You're losing sleep because it's like your mind is going. And
sometimes you just got to push through, power through, and I mean,
but
it doesn't just happen overnight.
But I'm gonna say right now, like, I have tried to work on this M5 for the last,
I think you said, what, 3 years?
Probably 2 or 3 years. And I've made build sheets. I have tried. And where we're at with what we're doing, I know it's going to happen.
Oh.
I know it's going to get built. I know it's going to get built the right way. I know it's going to be something that we're proud of. I know it's going to be something that we want to represent us. And I know when we move on from the M5 to the Honda Civic, we're going to build the Honda Civic the way that we want it, in a complete...
I want this one to look completely different than what what you normally see a Honda Civic. You know, you normally see them lowered with the camber, the stretched out tires, the 16, 17-inch wheels, all that. I want this to be almost a one-of-a-kind car, if we can get it that way, which I feel like it's going to be hard because I know what they make for Hondas is normally what they make for all of them.
Well, I mean...
And all of them usually buy the same stuff, and they all usually look exactly the same.
But yes and no, because, I mean, that's the good thing about Japanese tuner cars, right? Is there's such a wide variety of tastes that, I mean, I guess it's really up to who wants to build them in what way, right? Because there's probably somebody out there that wants to build that exact 2016 Honda Civic and make a 450 wheel horsepower drag car. I don't know why, right? Because there's other vehicles out there that you could probably do better. But somebody out there has probably said, well, I got a 2016. We're just going to do XYZ to it, throw some slicky slicks on there, and we're going to go. Well, then there's those other guys, like you said, that want that thing that's on a patch of tire this big because the tires look like this and it's slammed and the whole thing shakes like this going over a pebble and you're going to scrape on a leaf. And it's like, cool, to each its own. I'm not hating on that.
So, and kind of go off of, kind of build off what you're saying. I will always give props to everybody's build. I'm not the one guy that's going to sit there and hate on your build at all whatsoever. Everybody has their own taste. Everybody has their own style. I give kudos to them for having that style of car. It's no matter what it is.
Yeah,
it's still a really good looking car. I'm not going to dog on your build because that's because my taste is completely different from yours.
Well, but I mean, to me, it's like, the way somebody builds a car is like how they dress themselves, right?
I get that.
Somebody who is very into fashion and is wearing a certain brand that they're willing to spend $1,000 for a cardigan, right? Or they're going to spend $1,200 for some Gucci slides when you could go pick up some Nike ones for $50, right?
Right.
But somebody want a specific look and they're willing to pay for it and they're willing to do it even though that,
they might get hate for it.
Going back to the cars is maybe the longevity isn't there. Maybe you got to always switch out, I don't know, control arms, tires. Maybe you got bent wheels.
Right.
Dude, I don't really know because I've never personally driven a completely slammed, cambered up. And I probably never will. But somebody, just like I don't think wearing Gucci clothes and $5,000 for an outfit looks particularly great. I guess it can, right? I'm also not a fashionista, so I don't.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
I've seen some of these fashion shows that people are talking about, and it's like,
why?
That's fashion? Dude, they were literally, I was watching a highlight reel of one of them, and they were wearing humans as backpacks. And I'm like, dude,
why?
They were literally like face to, but I'm like,
what is the purpose of that?
How is that fashion? That's not what are we?
That's just creepy.
But it's like, just like fashion, people go above and beyond with these cars to make the next crazier thing. And I think me and you both agree that's not what we're after.
No, we're after, a car that looks good, that functions the way it needs to be, that rides well, and is just a very slick looking car so you can sit back and be like, that looks good.
And it's going to be 100% up to our taste. Like, there's going to be people, I'm not going to say that they're going to think that what we build isn't going to be attractive, because for the most part, what we're building is going to be a very simple yet intricate thing.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's going to be a very simplified look, but can corner, can go fast, sounds good, is comfortable. You can do everything you need out of a car. Just like when we're building a truck, when we're building anything, we want it to be, what is the point in me building a truck with the lift kit that I can't even go over bumps without shattering my back? Yeah. I have a cheap lift kit on my truck right now. That thing rides. Like, I'm almost positive that a bag of bricks would probably have a better chance. It's not comfortable. But that is something that we had really talked about, and I just want to drive this home that, like, everything we're doing and the podcast, for the most part, is not going to have much to do with that. I guess whenever we have very exciting news or we have some.
Oh yeah, all these will be a little separate. The car channel will be a little separate. I don't know how you want to do the sports, if that's going to be separate as well, or if that's going to be a part of this.
Okay, so I'm working on that stuff too, where you have different playlists.
Okay.
That was why I had created an overarching page, so
Okay.
we can do different playlists
Okay. I
for
got you.
different things. So whenever somebody subscribes and they throw on the notifications or whatever, every single time we drop something, right?
Okay.
Um, every single time we drop something, whether it's what we're trying to do for sports, the automotive channel where we're putting out videos of us doing stuff to the cars, our podcast, which I think anybody who's following us knows that we're on a schedule. Everything that we do, it drops Monday at 5 a.m., right? So that's
Right.
just kind of the standard. We'll be working on a schedule with everything else because with our schedules, I have to have everything on a schedule so I know what day things are going out, when things are happening. Um, but I know that we shared a lot of information in this episode, and it's things that are happening. It's things that we want y'all to come along with us, and it's things we want people to be excited about and get excited about, or ask us questions about, or
Yeah.
or get us involved with things that maybe other people are doing that, like, we want to help. We want to help people. We want to bring people in. We want to motivate people. We want to make people laugh. We want to make people feel sad. We want to make people feel joy. We want to make people feel all of it.
Oh,
All
yeah.
of it. And I think that what we are doing and how we are trying to do things and move towards this goal,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
I think, hey, we're going to do it. You know what I mean? We're going to do it. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be some crazier stuff. But is anybody, people going to outwork us?
I mean, probably. But hold on. But
You're
hold on.
supposed to say no.
Hold on. But the moment we see that, the moment that me and you are going to bust our ass even harder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, people are they're going to probably not work us at times, but that's going to make us bounce back 10 times harder and, do better.
But I don't think people will really outwork us, because if we can learn anything from people who've done this before us, and I'm not just talking about podcasting, I'm not just talking about YouTube stuff, I'm not talking about automotive stuff. Anybody who's successful,
Yeah,
found some way, whether it's the numbers, whether it's the production, whether it's name it, they found an enjoyment in something that they were doing.
right.
Right? And where I'm at with all of this is, it has been exhausting
At
to
times.
a point, but when I think about how little time we have to accomplish a lot of the things that we're trying to do, man, I cannot help but smile, because it's not like I have to go to work and I'm tired. It's, I'm tired, but I get to work on this thing that I love. And I get to work on this thing that I love with one of my best friends, somebody who I've known for a long time. I'm going to get to do this thing and possibly be able to change other people's lives.
Yeah,
And
that's definitely a big goal as well, is to help out other people as well. I mean, for us to be able to do that would be pretty rewarding on its own.
well, and I just think it's important for people to understand why we're doing these things. I think it's important for us to be transparent as to why we're honestly even doing this. Because, right, like, there's so many people who are going about this because it's a get rich quick scheme, which, if you're trying to get rich quick, this is the worst thing you're probably gonna do. You have better chance at hoping Bitcoin's coming back up. Like, dude, whatever. Um,
Gaming.
but dude, it is one of those things that we enjoy, and I think we're gonna find a lot of brand new things about ourselves. I think we're gonna find out a lot of brand new things about, like maybe people start hitting us up and they're like, "Hey, how did you do this? Hey, what do you think about this?" There's so many opportunities that comes from this one thing that gives us a chance to, even though we're assholes, right? Personality wise,
Yeah.
we get to be genuine human beings. We get to see the better in other individuals. We get to express our thoughts on a camera, on a microphone. We get a chance to show our creative side more than just swinging hammers, more than just doing manual labor, more than just being goofy. Yeah. We get to show our artistic side.
So we can show our creative side that, a lot of people don't think that we have. We can show a side that a lot of people have never even seen.
To be fair, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and y'all were right until a certain point.
It's crazy to sit there and do something that you never thought you'd ever do, and be able to be like, I never knew that about myself.
But isn't that the point though?
Yeah.
The point, and I think about this all of the time, and I understand that it's sometimes it's difficult, right? Because we get comfortable, and then especially whenever you find a job that pays you good.
Yeah.
Right? Well, why am I going to risk this good paying job to go off and do this thing that I don't know about?
See, here's my thing about that. Sometimes it's not all about the money. Yes, for the most part it is. But when you find something that you're truly happy about doing and that you actually get joy from doing, and already that's a lot better than sitting there busting your ass for however long in a day, and you go home and you're drained all day. You got to change out of work clothes. Yeah. You got to do all these things that you really don't want to do, and you're miserable.
No, I mean, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But I think that it's so easy to push that thought down.
Well, yeah, especially if you're making that good money.
When you have a decent job, and let's just be honest, you're probably taking a huge pay cut, plus you're spending money, plus you're spending time, plus you're exhausted already because you hate your job.
Right.
All of these things. So, because I think there's a lot of people, and I may have said this before, there's a lot of people who think that when they take that job, that will just pay for their hobbies, and when they're off, they'll do the hobbies.
No.
But then that job takes over, and it's so hard to do anything else because you're mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted.
So I'm going to kind of put myself in this kind of example here. I go out and work 2 weeks straight. Monday through, whenever my hitch starts to whenever it ends. And when I come home, I have a full week off. But the day that I come home, I'm already drained because I already drove 5 hours. I had to get off of work, take a shower, get changed, be on the road, get here, and then by the time I'm home, and I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I'm drained all day long. And for the whole week, I might be going out doing things. I really don't want to go do anything. I just want to lay in bed, turn on some TV, and relax for that entire week.
But you know why what you just said almost doesn't matter? Because we're doing this.
No, exactly.
Because you, like, not to downgrade or like put down any of the things that you feel or are feeling, but you are actually working towards getting out of that cycle that we were just talking about.
Yeah, and it's and again, it's not yeah, it might be a big pay cut from what I'm making now, but at the same time, doing this is I'm a lot more joyful doing this. I'm more excited about doing this. It's something it's really gonna turn our lives around to where we can start doing things that we've always wanted to do.
Yeah, and
actually have a good time doing it
yeah.
and not have to stress about anything. It's this is us expressing who we are.
And with that being said, though, like when you're doing a job, when you're working in an office or whenever you're working for somebody else, how many times do you get to actually express yourself in entirety, right? Like,
not a lot.
How can you express yourself from the business acumen to us talking about ghosts and aliens and
exactly
whatever, politics, sports? It is almost impossible because the way that the world is set up now, right? You have to be one side of the fence about something.
Yeah.
And it's almost impossible to talk about stuff without somebody getting mad at you, somebody getting upset, somebody saying, and it's like, I didn't mean whatever. So the thing is this gives us an opportunity to, well, okay, yeah, we said that, but this is what we meant, or this is how we feel, right? Because I don't think we speak about anything in definites, right? We don't speak in definites. We're not like, this is definitely this and this is definitely that. It's like, bro, I say to my understanding about most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth. Because if I don't, dude, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an educator. I'm not somebody who studied something heavily. I may have listened to somebody cover the topic. I may have watched a documentary. I may have watched something that has piqued my interest. But this thing gives us a chance to explore all of these avenues
that we've always wanted to try,
that we probably never thought, and almost to a fault, right? Like, I was explaining to my nephew one day, I was like, hey, you're quirky and kind of weird, right? Right? That's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when you're in elementary school. And when you're in middle school, and depending on where you go to high school.
Yeah.
Aside from that, do you think Elon Musk was quirky and weird?
Probably.
He's on the spectrum. You freaking bet it. He's a super genius.
Yeah.
He was, dude, people are trying to make fun of him now for being pale. And I'm like, dude, he's one of the richest men in the world, and he's putting chips in brains. What are you doing? Shut up. Right? But I was telling
a point.
But I was telling my nephew, I'm like, we go through this whole entire life. Like me, I have ADD, ADHD, however you want to, excessive energy. Well, when you're in grade school, all throughout whatever grade you want to think about, that's a negative thing. It is a negative thing to have energy. It is a negative thing to want to be independent on your learning. It is a negative thing to go against a teacher, even if that teacher is wrong. It is a negative thing to say, I'm just going to get up and go to the restroom when I want to go to the restroom. Instead, they would rather put you on medications to dumb you down, shut you up.
Man, that's exactly what they try to do for my niece, actually. Because she, excessive energy and stuff like that, and they try to put on these medications, and it's like, no, like that, it makes no sense to do that.
Dude, it turns a child
dull.
Who's a child
dull.
Like,
it makes them dull.
It doesn't child.
Help them. It doesn't help them.
It blows my mind. You're being loud and obnoxious. I'm 9. I'm 9.
Yeah.
I'm 9. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm 9. 10 years old, 11 years old. Now I'm hitting puberty. You know why I'm taking 2 extra bathroom breaks? Because my body's changing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let them be that way. Let them
No,
be that
absolutely.
way. I understand.
Let
Don't
kids
let them
be kids, man.
Don't let them cuss out the teacher. Don't let them be distractions. Don't let them XYZ. But okay, instead of saying, "Oh, we need to put this kid on medication to dumb them down and quieten them down."
Let's see what we can do to help
Hey,
them.
hey, oh boy, stand in the back of the classroom, do jumping jacks, or just stand up. Find a way that works for that child and work with them. Because guess what? Almost every single person who is successful is a very high energy, high performing individual. So why would we sit there and tell young kids becoming young adults and eventually becoming adults that it is a negative thing? And I've been told that my whole life. I'm watching my nephews be told that. I'm watching all of this stuff, and the one thing that I tell them is the only time this is a bad thing is when you have a teacher that does not have the energy to handle it,
Yeah.
and they are telling you that you are bad because of how they feel. It is not bad. You will go on to create. You will go on to innovate. You will go on to be an entertainer. You will go on to live a very successful, happy, proactive, whatever, name it. Name the adjective. You
Yeah,
will
that's
go
wild.
on for the rest of your life just being yourself. But the problem is how I'm going to bring this all back to my original point is I'm sitting there telling him this. It's only weird to be quirky and weird while you're in these age groups. Aside from that, people fucking love it.
Yeah.
Be quirky and weird. Be who you are. Do not fake it. Do not do anything else. People will eat it up. People will love it, and they will find you.
Absolutely.
And
Wholeheartedly agree with that.
I'm quirky and weird. I say stuff all the times that even I'm like,
What the fuck?
what did I just say? Right? But then there's other, and this is exactly what I told him. I spent my whole life wondering why I was so loud, why I could joke about things the way that I did, the way that my humor works. Was I weird? Was I detached from something? Was something wrong with my brain because the way that I would just see stuff, right?
Okay.
In a comical sense. And now it's almost like full circle where it's like, oh, maybe you weren't weird. Maybe something wasn't wrong with you. Maybe you were just designed to do something with that attribute.
Yeah.
And
I get you.
where I'm at with all of it is this gives me an opportunity. This gives you an opportunity. This gives our listeners an opportunity to explore these different things, these different passions. And when we're talking about work and when we're talking about all these other people, it's hard. It's scary. It's name it, right?
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of money into things that are uncertain. You're putting money that you may not have. Maybe you are borderline not even paying rent, buying food, buying gas, whatever. Name the expense. But you decide, why have 50 extra bucks? Let me go buy a tripod for 20.
Yeah.
Let me go buy this cable or this more expensive whatever thing because it'll last me longer. It's little things like that when you enjoy, when you get the opportunities, and when you put that hustle into things, it gives you an opportunity to be yourself, and it unapologetically.
Yeah.
Unapologetically. And it teaches you something about yourself. Because you know what I see out of how we're doing it, how we're going about our business right now, is nothing that we ever do, as long as that we believe that we're capable of doing it, we cannot do it.
Right.
We will do it. We will accomplish it.
Oh, this will be done.
And it's one of those things that we've had our doubts, we've had our things throughout our lives on what we're going to do, how we're going to get it done, etc.
Oh, yep.
But this thing that we're trying to accomplish, we have already proven, right? We have already proven this thing to ourselves that
it's doable.
Brother, anything that we put our minds to, anything that we're trying to do, and we're not even successful yet. But do you have any doubt that that we're not going to be successful in whatever we?
I have no doubt in my mind that this will be successful.
So, with all of that being said, like I said, man, it's this thing doesn't happen with somebody like you, or like without somebody like you. Rather, my apologies. It takes very like-minded people. It takes people buying in, seeing the vision, putting forth the effort. And I know you work hard when you're gone at work. I know that we have to figure out a schedule and make things happen between going out, living our normal lives, work, relationships, all of it. And you choose to spend the time with me whenever we're going, like whether it's at home playing pool, whether it's drinking, whether it's us having a night out, whatever it is. All of this happens because of like the relationship that we have, how we're going on about stuff, and how we can communicate and our like-minded visions.
Absolutely.
So like I said, I feel like one of the most important things that I can ever possibly do is just tell people thank you, give people because I'm not doing nothing. Right? I mean, I'm doing something. Yeah. But I ain't doing nothing because nothing in this world happens
overnight
with just one person. It takes a machine. It takes all these extra things. And
oh, yeah.
And I think, just some of the things that we've explained that we kind of got going on in the background over here, things we're going to start working on. I think it's fair to say we're pretty damn excited, almost to the point we're nervous. But
I'm not going to lie. I mean, nerves are running, but I mean, per usual, we power through, we push through, and we try to get what we can done. I mean,
and on the other side, we're surprised.
Oh yeah,
'cause it's like, dang, bro, that's us. We're doing that, and
it's crazy thing, man. Because even before this, like, we worked all the time. That's all we ever thought about was going to work, coming home.
When we would literally go out to drink to get away from the problems of work.
Yeah.
Right? All of our free time would be wasted doing shit that was not productive.
No. And, we sit here and, we call it work. We call it other things, but at the end of the day, man, this is fun. This is something that, get stuff off our chest, get stuff off our mind, just have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. And I think on that note, like I said, every person who shared our stuff, every person that has subscribed, every person who's liked our videos, every person who's watching them, giving us insight, giving us opinions, giving us what we could do better, what we do fairly well.
Giving us options on what else to do and what else to add on to what we have already going on. I mean, it helps us out tremendously that y'all do all this. And, again, we're small, but without y'all, it'd be a lot harder.
Yeah.
For all this to be possible.
And the ultimate shout out to you, you know what I mean? Because this probably would have never happened if you didn't step up and handle it the way that you've handled it. So, I mean.
Hey, I try my best, man. That's all I can do.
I'm a firm believer you got to tell the people that you're thankful for that you're thankful for them.
Oh, man, I think y'all
We ain't
every
fucking
single
telepathic, dude. We can't read no minds.
No, man, I appreciate all of y'all. Like, for me to come on to here again, even now, even today, like my nerves run. I'm not used to being in front of a camera, in front of a mic, but
That's where it is.
hey,
This
what?
little chingadera right here,
it helps out. But I mean, all the support that y'all have given us, and all of again off what he said, the feedback, the support, the sharing our stuff and like that. It makes this a lot more enjoyable to know that you guys are there for us and you guys are watching our stuff and enjoying what we're doing. And I mean, hopefully y'all continue to come along the ride with us into everything else we got going on. And man, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this, and it's all thanks to y'all as well.
Yeah,
And
I don't think I could.
This man right here for bringing me along for the ride, and
Oh, I'm sure it's a headache some days. You're like, can you just shut up?
Man, you know what? Before any of this, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna I don't know how it's gonna go. I've always had a hard time talking in front of people, but you've definitely helped me kind of get through that and push out to the side and continue to work on what could be better for us.
Yeah.
And it's a big thanks to you as well for bringing me along.
Well, brother, this is the way that I feel like people should be rewarded, is people that I had originally set this up for, and this is no dig at them. I understand people are busy, and I understand things change.
Yeah.
But when you stepped up and you took that responsibility and said, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable with it, but I'm willing to do it." Fuck it. That's the guy that I'm rolling with, cuz that's the guy that no matter how uncomfortable things get, no matter how bad things get, no matter how weird things get, no matter how hectic, name it, right? Name it. You're the guy that it was one of those things where I was in a corner and you said, "Hey, let me help you out." And that's going to be one of those things that as we move forward with this, that teaches you a lot about an individual. And
I appreciate that.
And just on the motivational side of it, I legitimately cannot stress it enough, how much having somebody that sees the vision, sees what we're trying to do, is willing to put forth the effort, and all of that stuff changes the scope and likelihood of what we're trying to do, that we could actually accomplish it.
Right.
Because what we are trying to accomplish and what we are trying to do here, I think everybody in the whole entire world probably would be like, "Yeah, I'd do that." Right? Like, if they could do that for a living. "Yeah, I'd do it." I guess there's probably a handful of people who's like, "No, I would not do that. I'm fine with what I'm doing." But it's, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that, dude, it's difficult. Heard a lot of no's, heard a lot of maybes, heard a lot of, "Well, let me figure some things out." And it's like,
let me get back to you next week.
What do you need to figure out? Takes an hour. But no, man. I guess at this point we'll quit jerking each other off. But it's, but no, we got some things coming up. We got some things moving. We got some grease in the wheels. We're gonna start trying to get some stuff going. Get some parts on order. Get some, videos created. basically where we're at is we just want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're able to do it in a, I guess, systematic way. Like we want it to, we want to. I tell myself all the time, like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So that goes along with the merchandise. That goes along with the car video. That goes along with any other version of the podcast that we decide to add on in the sports realm and the who knows, right? Anything that we're gonna do it 100%. And where I'll leave it off is, I hope everybody's super excited about what we got cooking. I know we're super excited about what we have, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait
to get all of this started, man. Like
to get all of it started, because right now it is almost like I'm a kid in a candy store, and I'm ready.
I'm ready to go like right now, man. Like,
dude. Sorry to keep dragging this on. We're at the house, and it was 9:56, 9:57 or whatever last night, and we had been drinking, and I'm like, "Do you want to go buy the battery? Like, I just want to hear it run." O'Reilly's is 2 minutes up the road. If we get there, dude, if we hit green lights, we could probably make it. Right? That basically sums up where we're at in that whole entire thing.
It's gonna be a roller coaster, but
man, I could talk all day about the things just because I'm so passionate about it, because I'm so excited about it, what we got coming. But just if y'all haven't, go to our social media, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Those are going to be the places that we're probably going to be sharing most of this stuff. And then obviously once we have some physical copies of the merchandise, we actually have maybe some bloopers and things like that from the other things that we're doing, then maybe we'll incorporate them, in a half episode, or we'll just go ahead and throw some bloopers a part of one of our videos.
Yeah. Also, especially with the merch, if you like to, I'm not saying you have to, go and turn your notifications on Instagram and Facebook, stuff like that. Again, we post quite often. He mainly posts on there quite often about the stuff that we got going on. So we may also go ahead and put, once we kind of get the merch situated and we get things like that going, we'll start posting those up on the Instagram and Facebook pages as well. So if you like, go ahead and turn your notifications, and every time you post, you'll go and get those as well.
Hell yeah. Well, thank y'all for joining us. This was kind of a more serious version of us. But with that being said, more serious version of us, but I think it gives some insight of
absolutely
how we've, you know what I mean? We're not just doing this just to be goofy, say the word fuck a lot, you know what I mean? I think this can kind of give some people insight on how we operate, how we've been kind of going about some of our business, maybe motivate some people to get up, do some things that they've been trying to do. So,
I mean, it's going to be nerve-wracking at first, but once you get to the first time doing it, I think y'all got it.
And hit us up. Like, if y'all have any questions, I'm not saying that we're pros, but we had nobody to reach out to.
None.
All of this, YouTube. We had YouTube. So I guess that's something. But we had nobody to text, nobody to call, none of that stuff. All of the stuff that we are doing, figured that out on the run. Like, we just took information that we could gather. Most of it was pretty hard to get.
But got it rolling.
Hit us up. If it's something you've been thinking about, if it's something you're nervous about, if it's something that you need an opinion about,
feel free to message on Instagram, Facebook. Like you said, we tag each other in pretty much everything that goes on our Instagram. So if it may take a few hours to get back to you depending on what's going on, but we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But please feel free to shoot us a message on the podcast pages or even our personal pages. Just let us know what you got going on, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can.
So, I know I've already said this about 5 times, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I think we just hit almost an hour and a half. Honestly, I really hope that y'all have enjoyed what we've done so far. I hope that y'all have enjoyed kind of some of this insight of what we can provide. You know, not always got to be goofy. Sometimes it can be educational. Sometimes it can be motivational. Sometimes it can, man, there's a lot of different layers to us.
Oh, yeah.
As Shrek said, ogres are like onions. Just peel them one layer at a time. But once again, I appreciate all of y'all. Please like and subscribe because that allows YouTube to actually share our stuff to people that are not searching for it. It allows them to add us to the algorithm, put us in suggested videos, start kind of displaying us to different people, and gives us an option to, or gives us a chance to be seen by other people besides, anybody that we're sharing it to. So if y'all could, please like and subscribe. And once again, I greatly appreciate y'all listening to us. I appreciate y'all watching us. I appreciate everything y'all do for us. You good?
I'm good, man.
All right. Thank y'all.